Here's our creative director, Bodine Boling, with a short story she wrote for tonight.
Right after he said it, I felt something big and dangerous start to move in, still on the horizon for now, but getting closer, almost here. And I knew it was my fault. The giveaway was the cold, a chill up my spine, sudden as an ice bath. The first time I felt that, I'd been 6, standing with my mother in a strange, beautiful place, full of toys big enough to climb. The sky glowed gray above us, as it had for longer than I'd been alive. Even though there were kids around me, also with their parents, no one played with anything, no one even spoke. We just formed our shaggy line, aimed at the entrance of a building. On the outside of the building was a mural, bumpy from the brick facade. It showed a group of children playing together under a bright gray sky on exactly the same toys that were all around me. Now I really wanted to play. I had an idea what to do. But just then, a mother up ahead watched her son go in the building, and instead of going the other way, she walked back towards me. So I saw her face and her terrified expression. Leaving her son here scared her, and why? It startled me into looking at my own mother's face, and she looked terrified too, and just like that, so was I. Why should I have to go to school? No one had done this, gone to a building with strangers for education in over 200 years. I'd learned that later inside the building, but at 6, I did feel the unfairness of my sacrifice. I'd never even spoken to a non-family member before. A moment later, I was cold, the worst cold of my life, which seemed to come up from inside me and push out through my skin. Loud cracks made me look up to see the gray sky fracture with light. Then clouds obscured it all, and out of them fell tiny wisps of frozen water, which clung to my hair and tasted like nothing. For the first time since we got to the playground that morning, all the adults started talking. The sky glowed gray and normal for a long time after that, and I learned U.S. history in the 23rd century, plus how to talk to people, even look them in the eye. And when the social initiative started, I volunteered to work with isolationists, people ensconced in tech, unwilling to leave their homes. We connect them to resources, anything's possible, any interest, any class, any hobby. It just took wanting it. I don't think isolationists are lazy, though. Sometimes you needed quiet. And when it's been quiet for a while, you can become afraid of noise. One of the isolationists, Peter, I offered to take to the lookout. Now, that's a reason to leave the house. Tallest building downtown, and the top floor is only a small room, all 4 walls made of glass. Peter hadn't liked the elevator, but the view out the windows undid him. I knew it would. The city from so high up, bewitched in all directions, color and people and light, energy rising up like steam. But then Peter pointed to the real purpose of the lookout, the telescope in the middle of the room with its 1,000-mile view. I spun it north and took a glance first, out past the protection of glowing gray sky where weather was still wild. I happened to land on a storm, or maybe there was always a storm that way. The thrashing wind terrified me, but what a thrill to see from a distance. More exciting than gray. When Peter bent down to the eyepiece, he stayed there a while, even moving the telescope around. I thought he must be aiming it at the city, absorbing what he'd long ignored, seeing how much life had gone on without him. But when Peter popped back up, catching me staring, he only smiled. I heard there might be deserts somewhere, he said. Can you show me? I want to see it all. And for the first time, Peter looked me right in the eye. That's when I felt it again, that ice bath chill coming up from inside me, unstoppable and terrible. And in a building this tall, I had quite a view, which was when I heard the crack of thunder. And just then, lightning split the sky. I expected Peter to be afraid, but he rushed the window, rapt, as clouds rolled in. Slushy rain slapped the glass, and he took a step back, but he never stopped looking. The slush became rain, softer and softer, until it stopped, until out in the sky, level with us, there formed an enormous, imperfect prism, stripes of color, blending and arcing. And facing that miracle, I reached for Peter's hand.
That's Bodine Boling with a new story called Weather Control.